With us this hour, we've got Mike Kerr from Hear the Watchman. And I let him know we just had Coach Dave on. Coach is a tough act to follow, but man, he's such a wonderful inspiration. Don't you think so, Mike?
John, absolutely. And thank you for having me on the show today with you. We're grateful to be on USA Prepares and so behind everything you guys are doing. Coaches, well, if you want to get prepared spiritually, there's probably no one better than Coach to get your rep up. That's for sure. We met Coach at a little conference up in Bozeman, Montana called Whitestone, and I think it might have been Coach's one of his first, public appearances out there. I don't think he was even on the schedule. I think one of the other speakers brought him along and just kind of told him to come on up. And I tell you, it changed my life. The man was just so fired up, and he's been a wonderful friend of Fear the Watchman. And we're glad to have people like Coach and like yourself, John, to speak at our conferences.
I've been talking about Hear the Watchman for over a year now, because your first conference was here in Dallas, and I was so excited to be able to get there, and I was looking forward to finally meeting some people in person, including Doug and Joe Hagman and John B. Wells, and I was actually on with Doug and Joe on April 4th. That was a lot of fun too. I'd give them a copy of my book, and Vincent Finelli, the host of USA Prepares, and Doug Hagman have known each other longer than Vincent has known me. So Doug and Joe didn't exactly vet me too well. So they kind of assumed that I was coming on and was going to talk about the financial state of the union, and we did manage to do that a little bit, but we started taking some side trips. And I kind of refer to the show now as John Ragan Unplugged, Doug Hagman Unhinged.
That's good. That's good. Well, I look at the world we live in today. It's everything you're doing and what Fear the Watchman is all about. The reason that we started Fear the Watchman, my wife Jeannie and I, is that we felt that we were called upon to bring the word to as many people as we could. And as we started down that path, of course, we did the first one in Dallas, Texas, as you mentioned. And then we felt compelled to do one in Knoxville, Tennessee. And that's really, John, the way things happen with Fear the Watchman. All of a sudden, we believe that we are called upon. We will get a message from the Lord that tells us where to go and what to do. And that's what makes the conferences so unique. Knoxville, and folks, if you want to, see Knoxville, you still want to see John and Pastor Paul Bagley, L.A. Marzulli, Anthony Pack, Russ Bisgar, Dr. Michael Lake, Michael Bovea, of course, Coach Dave, Josh Tolley. You want to see them? You can still do so by visiting our website, which is www.hearthewatchman.com, and you can pre-order the Knoxville DVDs. There's a button right on there. Go click on it. It's a 10 DVD set, and it's only $75 plus shipping if you pre-order it. But the conference itself, Knoxville, to me, John, it just had evolved into such a wonderful feeling at that conference. There were some things there going on that we'll talk about. But didn't you, John, have that feeling that the Holy Spirit was in the room and the people were really being touched by the messages of each speaker?
Yeah, it's one of those experiences you wish you didn't have to leave and go home.
Amen. And that's that's what we strive for in these conferences. And, you look at, I want to just talk for a minute about some of the stuff that happened at the conference. I mean, of course, you did your presentation, which was just amazing and so timely for everybody to hear. But, we had take Anthony Patch. Anthony Patch he talks all about CERN. And Anthony, his voice was silenced at the conference. We had him totally videoed. We had the video uploading. I was watching it on our production team's screen. It was streaming just fine. And all of a sudden, all of the files disappeared. They just vanished. All of a sudden, at the hotel, all of my iPhone, all of my contacts disappeared. I think it was on Saturday, there was a drone and Black Hawk helicopters flying around. And post-conference, Anthony's email was hacked. There were some horrible emails being sent out by someone to myself, L.A. Marzulli, Ken Keeling of John B. Wells Show. And, we were all, what's wrong with Anthony? It turns out it wasn't Anthony at all. And you see what's going on out there today, John, is that they, and we all know who they are, don't want us to gather. And the reason they don't want us to gather is they want us to be afraid to gather. Because when we gather at conferences like Hear the Watchman, we exchange ideas. And when we exchange ideas, we expand our knowledge base and we become way more powerful than they want us to be. And that's why at the Hear the Watchman conferences, you notice there was like a buffet of different ideas. And the reason for that is that incites discussion and conversation between people so that they are able to make their own mind up and their own decision about what's really going on. But most importantly, the whole entire premise of Hear the Watchman is for people to come and to enjoy that time with the Lord and to get down to the bottom line of repentance and to have that revival and that restoration in their lives that they're going to need moving forward. Would you agree?
Yes. And, it's something else to see that group of people at the swimming pool.
The baptisms.
Yes.
The baptisms. It was amazing. Pastor Paul Bagley, I have to give a huge shout out to Pastor Paul Bagley, well, to all the speakers, but Pastor Paul and Michael Boldea, who is Dimitri Duduman's grandson and actually translated for Dimitri. They delivered messages that were just amazing. I mean, God spoke through these men. And Pastor Paul on Sunday took people out and we baptized people right there in the pool. We did it in Dallas, and in Dallas we did, I'd say, maybe 150, 200. In Knoxville, we probably did 50. And in both of them, it doesn't even matter. Just to watch one person go into that water and be baptized, to just be a witness to that is so amazing.
We've got about a minute before the break, so don't want to get too deep. But did you want to briefly talk about the conference you have coming up in Las Vegas?
Absolutely, and I'll just, since we're about a minute away from the break, I'll just give you a little teaser on it. The name of the conference in Las Vegas, which is November 4th through 6th, is Deception in the Desert. And folks, it'll be something amazing. It includes a trip. We're going to go out around Area 51 and visit the world-famous Little Alien Inn. It's going to be a very interesting conference. And certainly hoping that some of your listeners, Don, will be able to make it out.
Yeah, I wish I could make it out there. Just, like so many people, there's so much going on, so little time, and you have to make decisions. But are you also going to have DVDs from that conference available?
We will have DVDs from that conference, and the speakers, which we'll talk about when we get back from the break, are L.A. Marzulli, Pastor Billy Crow, who you met in Dallas, amazing guy, did the drone and artificial intelligence talks. Pastor Donald Perkins from San Diego. Carl Teach is an amazing guy from in Canada.
This is John Ragan with Mike Kerr. We'll be back in just a few minutes. It's John Ragan sitting in for Vincent today, and I want to just share something with you, Mike. And I do appreciate you coming on such short notice. When Vincent called me, asking me to take care of the show for about a week. And oh, by the way, I've got some days here I don't have anybody booked. If you could take care of that. I wish I could take credit for the way this lineup happened, but I think you'll see how truly amazing this is. Friday, I'll be introducing the USA Prepares class to John Robertson. And that show is going to be live streamed over the entire weekend, right before Halloween. So, how appropriate is that? And then on Monday, there'll be Anthony Patch talking about, the CERN and the quantum computers. So while other shows are going to be talking about ghosts and whatnot, we're going to be talking about some real serious things. And we've got a call.
That's great. That's what you want to do.
And we've got a caller, Mike from Tennessee. Welcome to USA Prepares.
Greetings, gentlemen. I just wanted to touch base and find out. I've listened to this and the previous guest, and I'm waiting to hear solutions. I'm waiting to hear the action plan. Was at this conference, and I wished I could have been there, but I couldn't because of my current dilemma and standing against the giant and what I'm about to face. But was there solutions, and was there an action plan presented at the conference?
I wasn't able to be in for all the presentations. I don't know if you can share anything, Mike?
Absolutely. Thanks for calling into the show. And I'll tell you that at our conferences, there's always a solution provided. There's always a plan of action provided. What we try and also do is create a network so that people can communicate with one another and come up with ideas. If you, caller, want to email me, my email is Mike Kerr, Kerr 777 at gmail.com. I will send you 55 pages of notes from the conference, which will go over everything that each speaker said, talk about the action plan, and everything else that you're looking for. That's what we try to do. That's what we're going to be doing with Deception in the Desert. What we try to do with our conferences, with God leading the way for us, is we try to connect the dots. Because as you mentioned, and thank you so much for calling in, because you're absolutely right. There's a lot of information out there. And one of the things that used to drive me crazy, because my wife actually became awake much sooner than I did. What used to drive me crazy is all these people would talk about all this information, and all they would do is sit on their couch and watch YouTube and this and that. No one would get into action. There was no plan for what we can do to save ourselves. And, at Deception in the Desert, there's a Pastor Billy Crone runs a ministry called Get a Life Ministry. And he is the pastor of the church, the Sunrise Southern Baptist Church in North Las Vegas. And he's going to be releasing a book on November 1st, and the title of it is called The Rapture, Don't Be Deceived. And in it, there's 14 studies and 7 DVDs. I think you get like 17 hours of teaching. And the thing is, we want to teach people, and we want to teach people at the conferences there's nothing to be afraid of. If you're right with the Lord, if you repent, you don't have to be afraid. It does say in the Bible, so many times we overlook it, it says, we shall fear no evil. It doesn't say we shall fear Hillary Clinton. It doesn't say we shall fear Russia. It says we shall fear no evil. And so one of my big soapboxes that you just got me up on is the doom porn that's out there.
Mike, hold that thought. We're going. This is John Ragan with Mike Kerr, here, the Watchman. And if you were listening to the contact information, didn't have a chance to write that down, let me give you a way of getting to that. And you can either go to my website, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, or you can go to usaprepares.com, click on the instructor tab, and I'm at the top of the financial section there. And when you click on the news tab of my site, where I discuss everything from every week here, just scroll down to any of the October entries. The September entries in the news tab, and at the top of each of my posts has the link to Hear the Watchman, and from there you can just click on their contact tab, and you've got everything. So before the break, I believe you were getting ready to talk about, what's been warned about is, the deception of, the second coming.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I'm sorry that we had some audio trouble on my end there. My apologies. And to the caller, the bottom line is we do provide solutions. So please do get a hold of John or myself, and we'll get you the 56 pages of notes that I mentioned. So Deception in the Desert. That conference is going to be held November 4th through 6th at the Sunrise Southern Baptist Church in North Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, the website for that is simply deceptioninthedesert.com. Pastor Billy Crone is the pastor at the church who will actually be doing the conference. He is just an amazing guy. He does all the... You met him in Dallas, is that correct, John?
That's right.
And he has a new book coming out called The Rapture, Don't Be Deceived. And, Billy and I had a discussion on the phone, about a week ago. And, as Christians, we seem to cannibalize one another. And we need to stop doing that. And that's Billy's message, and that's my message. Folks, if you want to follow Hear the Watchman on YouTube, we have a Hear the Watchman channel. It's called Hear the Watchman's Journey. That's Hear the Watchman, MENS, Journey. And just Google it. We're up there. We're posting every day. There's some of the presentations from Dallas are on there. So there's lots of great stuff on there that you can look at and to stay informed. But the bottom line is that, there is either a pre-trib or post-trib camp. And those two camps seem to be completely attacking one another. And what people don't understand is that they're just being deceived. And that's what Billy gets into during his presentation at Deception in the Desert. And then we have another wonderful guy, Evangelist Donald Perkins. He's out of San Diego, California. The guy is just passionate about Jesus. He's passionate about the teachings. He's passionate about just bringing the prophetic truth to the podium. And then we have, of course, L.A. Marzulli. And if you haven't ever heard L.A. Marzulli, L.A. is one of my best friends. He's an amazing guy. He did the Nephilim trilogy. He has the Watchers 10 series, which is amazing. He just got back from somewhere that I can't disclose where he went. But I'm telling you, the research that he did there was, just off the hook. And I think it's going to shed some light on some questions that we've all had about what's going on in the world. When we're out in Vegas, he will be conducting a tour. We're going to go out and around Area 51. That tour is sold out, folks, but you can get on a waiting list for that by just going to deceptioninthedesert.com. And, L.A. just brings a phenomenal spin to everything, and he's just a wonderful man who just loves the Lord. And we have a new guy that we haven't, I've spoken to him, but I have never heard him speak. Carl Teachrib, he has a blog called Forcing Change, Making Sense of Our Changing World. And what he does, he takes a look at everything in the world based on a biblical world view. And he's he's one of the neatest guys that I've ever met. Has a great sense of humor, and he's just wonderful to be around. And then, as our MC for the event, we have none other than Lisa Haven. Lisa has her YouTube channel, which is very popular, and it's called Lisa Haven News You Can Count On. She's a wonderful friend of Hear the Watchman. She helped us out by doing some interviews while we were in Knoxville, Tennessee, and she will be the MC, and people can meet her in person right there at Deception in the Desert. So if you want further information, you want to get tickets, we do still have some seats left, but they're going fast. The price for just the conference, which is 3 days, that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, is $49. If you want to get on the waiting list for the additional tour, if we're able to fill another bus up, we'll simply charge you another $100 once we fill the bus. So it's $149 for the tour and the conference, $49 just for the conference. And boy, we're really looking forward to this one and seeing everybody out there. And these are men who are going to speak the truth, and it's the last chance folks will have to hear that truth before we go right to the polls on November 8th.
Billy Crone had such an excellent presentation there in Dallas. And I've been talking about spy tech on USA Prepares for about 3 years now. So I'm not even sure if I've really learned anything from his presentation, but the way he put it all together and to see that in one package, it was jaw-dropping even for me.
Well, that's the thing about Billy. I mean, I met Billy back when we were starting the first Year of the Watchman there in Dallas. And he was introduced to me by John B. Wells, and actually by John B. Wells' producer, Ken Keeling. And Ken said, you got to talk to this guy. So I watched one of Billy's, presentations online, and I started at about, 10 o'clock at night. And I was up until like 1 in the morning watching Billy Crone because I was mesmerized by how he brings everything back around full circle into what the Bible says will happen.
And, Mike, jump back to that, the rapture issue, which very early on, when I first did guest hosting work for Vincent, my 6th hour was with Stan, staunch pre-trib. And, it really wasn't a problem because, it doesn't matter who's right on that. It's going to happen. And I think it's more important we look at Matthew 25 and look at the lessons of the wise and foolish virgins. And the point is, you darn well better be a wise virgin, because it's, ready or not, here he comes. And if you're not ready, you'll find yourself on the wrong side of the door.
Well, absolutely. And, again, the mark of maturity, as Billy has taught me, the mark of maturity is that we don't battle as Christians the secondary issues, and we focus on the main issue, which is to repent and to be right with Jesus, so that we're ready when the time comes. And it's just amazing to me, the spiritual deception that's out there, during these last days. It's baffling to me. And I find that what happens with people, and you might have experienced some of this, especially after the conference, where the attacks come in fast and furious. And what happens is, what the enemy wants to do is they want to divide us. And when they find people that gather as a group like this, speakers like Billy Cohen, L.A. Marzulli, and Donald Perkins, Lisa Haven, and Carl Kiesford, and Coach Dave, and Anthony Patch, they're going to go and they're going to try and get in there, and they're going to attack us all. They'll attack our integrity. They'll attack everything about us. They'll try and bring up the sins of our past that are covered in the blood. They'll try and do all of that to quiet our voices. Do you have any of that experience after the conference, John?
Well, it's kind of funny. I had that half-hour interview with Lynn Liaz on her YouTube channel, which, by the way, that's received over 100,000 hits. So I'm appreciative of starting to get my message more out there. But my wife, started looking at the comments on that video, and she's not used to dealing with the attacks. So she kind of went off the deep end there and actually had to reply to a couple of them. And I'm working on getting her calmed down. That's just the way it works. You just have to let that roll off.
That's how Satan works. And, I think that we spend a lot of time, a whole lot of time, and I'm talking about myself, I'm not putting fingers in it, but we spend a whole lot of time thinking about preparing physically, which is so important, but we don't spend enough time thinking about preparing spiritually for what's coming ahead.
It's John Ragan with Mike Kerr. We'll be back in just a few minutes. It's John Ragan sitting in for Vincent today. Mike, you were talking earlier about enabling connections, and that's really key to what's coming. And I try to really emphasize, time is a lot shorter than you think it is, and whatever time we have left really needs to be used wisely. And if we look at this as the analogy used in the Bible as being a body, we need all parts of the body working. If you don't have any feet, you don't move too far. It's important. Your job may not seem important to you, but it's important. And the more people we can get together, the better off we'll be in just the physical part of being ready. And even more important than that is the spiritual part. We had a good talk with Dave first hour. Even people that claim the banner of Christian many times have been deceived and are still living under that deception. And that's what I would say all of us, especially at the Watchman Conference, several of us here at USA Prepares, we're just trying to get people to wake up, take that action, and that's about the best we can do. Mike?
Well, that's absolutely. And I want That's absolutely true, John. And I want, before I forget, and I know we're short on time here, I want to emphasize to people, please go to Google, Hear the Watchman's Journey. Hear the Watchman's Journey YouTube. Because we are going to live stream through YouTube the entire Deception in the Desert conference. So that's absolutely free of charge. But you have to go on there, you have to subscribe to the channel so that you get the notifications. And that's our way of trying to help get people together and to keep them informed. Because, John, you're so right. We need a network. Jeannie and I now, as a result of the path that the Lord put us upon for Hear the Watchman, we have friends, I mean real friends that think like we do, are Christians. We know that the Lord is in their heart in almost every state. Because when this all goes down, you're going to need family across the nation. You're going to have people that you can rely upon. And you can't meet those people, sad to say, on Facebook or over the internet. You got to get out. You've got to fellowship with them. And that's really what the Hear the Watchman mission is all about. The Hear the Watchman, the original one in Dallas, the one in Knoxville, the one Deception in the Desert coming up in North Las Vegas, November 4th to November 6th. And right after that, just after the elections, Jeannie and I have been praying and praying and praying. We're going to make an announcement regarding the next one, which I do believe will wind up being, again, in Dallas, Texas.
And, if you're at their website, hearthewatchmen.com, there's also a place where you can donate. This work can't be done for free. And, Mike and Jeannie do the best they can, much like Vincent. They keep the prices down so that more people can afford the exposure. And, it is a ministry. And, believe me, all the help is appreciated.
But John, I sure appreciate you bringing that up. I really do. We don't like to put our hand out there, but we do need your help, folks. The money that we charge for coming to these conferences just covers the cost, really, of the conference. It's not a financial moneymaker for Jeannie and I. This is our mission in life. We trust in the Lord that He will provide for us. But, we sometimes we get, when the attacks come in, John, we get people saying, well, this should be free. Well, the hotels aren't free. The airfare's not free, folks. There are costs to doing these. We appreciate any help you can give us.
Well, Mike, thank you very much for being on. And
well, thank you, John. God bless you for everything you're doing.
Thank you. And remember, class, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you.